Buenos días, que Dios les bendiga. Aquí María Fernández en el canal Jesús te ama. Hoy quiero hablar sobre Japón, la amenaza sísmica que tiene, y hay una señora que ha profetizado, ella no es cristiana, sobre un terremoto que ocurrirá cerca de Japón y va a causar un tsunami muy enorme. No sabemos porque solo Dios tiene las profecías correctas y esto va a ocurrir. Pero lo que sí sabemos es que Japón está en un lugar muy precario sísmicamente y debemos orar siempre por esta nación. Y por los rumores que hay, estoy poniendo este video que explica la situación del punto de vista científico, que sí, que es probable que haya un gran terremoto. Japón ha sufrido mucho a través de la historia de ellos por estas situaciones. Aquí están los segmentos de los videos que he recopilado acerca de esto. Gracias por escucharme.
A dire warning that has captured the attention of disaster preparedness experts across Japan. A massive earthquake in the Nankai Trough region is no longer a distant possibility. It is now considered almost certain and could strike as early as the 2030s. Even more concerning is Kamata's assertion that such a megaquake could trigger a chain reaction culminating in a powerful eruption of Mount Fuji, Japan's tallest and most iconic volcano. Kamata's warning draws heavily on historical precedent and modern seismic data. The Nankai Trough, a major subduction zone off the southern coast of Japan, has produced devastating earthquakes in the past, roughly every 90 to 150 years. The last major event occurred in 1946. According to Kamata, the tectonic pressure in the region has reached a critical point, and a magnitude 8 to 9 earthquake is highly probable in the coming years. But Kamata's concern goes far beyond seismic shaking. He points to the very real and alarming risk of a volcanic eruption at Mount Fuji, which has been eerily silent for over 3 centuries. Since the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake, the magma chamber beneath Mount Fuji has become increasingly unstable. Kamata warns that the volcano is no longer dormant but on standby. If history repeats itself, a massive quake could trigger a major eruption, just as it did during the Hoei eruption of 1707. That historical event saw a magnitude 9 earthquake strike the Nankai, Tokai and Tonankai regions, only to be followed 49 days later by a violent eruption of Mount Fuji. At the time, volcanic ash fell as far as Yokohama and Edo, modern-day Tokyo, disrupting life for hundreds of kilometers. The implications of a modern Mount Fuji eruption are chilling. Kamata describes a scenario where thick volcanic ash blankets densely populated regions, shutting down transportation, choking water supplies, disabling power grids and overwhelming communications systems. Entire cities, including Tokyo and Yokohama, could experience service blackouts, impassable roads and economic paralysis. Life as we know it could be pushed back centuries to a state comparable to the Edo period. Japan is home to 111 recognized active volcanoes, and Kamata has warned that several of these, such as Mount Hakone and Mount Kusatsu Shirane, have already shown signs of post-earthquake activity. This suggests a fragile balance in Japan's volcanic system, one that could be tipped by a single large earthquake. The Japanese government has estimated economic losses from a Mount Fuji eruption to be around 2.5 trillion yen. However, experts including Kamata argue that this number severely underrepresents the true scale of damage. When a major earthquake and volcanic eruption strike simultaneously, the total cost could skyrocket into the hundreds of billions of yen, affecting not just infrastructure and public safety, but also financial markets and global supply chains. What makes this situation particularly grave is the amount of time that has passed since Mount Fuji last erupted. The 1707 Hoei eruption marked the end of a 200-year quiet period. Since then, over 300 years have gone by, far exceeding the typical eruption interval of 50 to 100 years. Scientists now believe that significant magma has accumulated beneath the volcano. This built-up pressure, once released, could have catastrophic consequences. Recent simulations only reinforce the severity of the threat.
Japón está en máxima alerta. Un informe del gobierno ha revelado una amenaza que podría cambiar la historia del país en un solo instante. Un megaterremoto de magnitud 9 en la fosa de Nankai. Hablamos de un evento devastador que, si ocurre en una fría noche de invierno, podría dejar hasta 298.000 fallecidos, 12,3 millones de desplazados y causar pérdidas económicas de 1,8 billones de dólares, casi la mitad del PIB japonés. Pero la mayor amenaza no son los derrumbes, sino los tsunamis. Los expertos advierten que las gigantescas olas generadas por este sismo serían responsables de 3 veces más víctimas que los edificios colapsados. Ciudades enteras podrían ser arrasadas, dejando a su paso 2,35 millones de viviendas destruidas y más de 950.000 heridos. ¿Cuán probable es que esto suceda? La ciencia no deja dudas. La posibilidad de que un terremoto de magnitud 8 o más sacuda la fosa de Nankai en los próximos 30 años es de 80%. Esto significa que el desastre podría ocurrir en cualquier momento. Regiones como Shizuoka, Aichi, Wakayama u Osaka serían las zonas más afectadas.
That would hit Japan. And it did. It was actually March 11th, 2011. So she also in 1999 predicted that on July 5th, 2025, that there was going to be a major eruption, explosion. She said she believed it was an underwater volcano. The water would be bubbling. A tsunami would hit Japan and maybe other areas in the southeast or in the South Pacific, and that it would be catastrophic. But she actually pinpointed not only the month and the year, but she even pinpointed the day.
Del manga japonés El futuro que vi, publicado en 1999 por Ryo Tatsuki, autora que asegura tener sueños proféticos desde su infancia. El manga, reeditado en 2021, recopila profecías que, según miles de lectores en Asia, fueron cumpliéndose a lo largo del tiempo. En sus páginas aparecen referencias exactas de las fechas de la muerte de Lady Di y Freddie Mercury, además del atentado de las Torres Gemelas y el devastador terremoto y tsunami de Japón, que apareció en la portada de la historieta con el título Gran desastre en marzo de 2011. En 1999, Tatsuki anticipó que un virus desconocido llegaría en 2020, alcanzaría su pico en abril y volvería en 10 años. La predicción coincide con la llegada del COVID-19 y se teme que por la profecía se vuelva a vivir en el 2030. Ahora la atención está en una nueva visión, un gran sismo el 5 de julio de 2025. La autora soñó que ese día una enorme grieta bajo el mar entre Japón y Filipinas desataría un tsunami de más de 30 metros de altura que se expandiría por el Pacífico. La alerta ha causado cancelaciones masivas de viajes a Japón y el turismo japonés registra una baja importante en las reservas. En las redes sociales, el tema es tendencia mundial y el temor es evidente. Sin embargo, los sismólogos advierten que estas predicciones no tienen base científica y aunque Japón está en una zona sísmica activa, aún no es posible predecir cuándo ocurrirá un terremoto. Tatsuki pidió recientemente no tomar sus sueños al pie de la letra, pero cree que si su manga promueve la preparación ante desastres, cumple su propósito. ¿Y tú, crees en las profecías?
Is there anything over there that scientifically would say there's something someday coming in that area?
No, for the last 15 years, there has been growing concern of that entire region because of volcanism, right? And of course, I've had my concerns in that place. As far as her prediction, those predictions, I know a lot of people are putting stock into it, but now I'm going to sound a little off here, but I can't put any stock into it.
No, me neither.
I can't do it. Well, because the Lord didn't show me any. There's nothing in me that connects with that right now. There's just, so I don't have an answer for that.
I'm with you on that. I don't believe anything on July 5th of 2025 is going to happen from that. But I guess my question is, do you know, scientifically, do you know of anything in that area that is actually a concern down the road that we really got to deal with?
Pastor, if I said a long time ago that everybody in Japan should be relocated.
Yes, you did. I've heard you say that. Yeah. I know. Wow.
Everybody should be relocated. But of course, they're not going to do it. because of the absence of proof. But we all know it's kind of like a drunk driver. A drunk driver is not going to heed any warnings until they get in an accident, right? Same thing is going to happen there. It will happen. The landmass is underneath Japan. That entire region going all the way into China is sitting on a very explosive part of the earth. And it's active. It's active. And one day it's just going to give way. There's going to be a devastation beyond belief. It will be. And California is going to join in that. In fact, California may have it first.
There's no guarantee.
The Juan de Fuca plate. Well, the Juan de Fuca plate is I don't think that's going to hold up. I really do not. Pressure readings are coming back as far too high. So I think we're going to entertain California's issue also. When that starts happening, that could release a cascade of events around the lip of that troubled area. So it is a scientifically troubled area, but they're not going to do anything about it, right? They have too much infrastructure there.
Yeah, there's no way.
And you can't quite relocate. Nobody's going to relocate on a whim, right? They're going to need evidence, and that's the one thing they're not going to get until it takes place. And California may have it first.
There's no guarantee.
The Juan de Fuca plate. Well, the Juan de Fuca plate is I don't think that's going to hold up. I really do not. Pressure readings are coming back as far too high. So I think we're going to entertain California's issue also. When that starts happening, that could release a cascade of events around the lip of that troubled area. So it is a scientifically troubled area, but they're not going to do anything about it, right? They have too much infrastructure there.
Yeah, there's no way.
And you can't quite relocate. Nobody's going to relocate on a whim, right? They're going to need evidence, and that's the one thing they're not going to get until it takes place. They're not going to get evidence, right? It's just not going to happen.
It's
going to be normal one day and gone the next.
Well, is the California concern tied to this Mexico rift that you're talking? Is that too separate?
Oh, you better believe it. Mexico, the Juan de Fuca plate, the Coast plate, all of those are intertwined. In fact, when activity in Mexico kicks up, right?
Yeah.
Everybody in California, they had better be on alert.